gonna go out and do some chores. We're in South Dakota here. We're in the cold part of the year, to most of us known as winter. And we have had just a few days of like negative, I mean at least 24 below. I've heard people say they saw like 30 below, 34 below. It's really cold. And what happens is when it gets cold, you know, a lot of the farmers, homesteaders, ranchers, I got a whole train of ers behind me. Anyways, a lot of us are wondering, you know, how do you keep everything watered, and how do you keep waters from freezing? That's a really big deal. And I wish I had the perfect water when it gets down to 34 below. Oh, I mean, I should be laying right now. I should be laying in water, but it's froze. Yep. I ain't got it figured out, I know that. Good Lord. But here's what I do got figured out, and I've only got a couple animals. I'm not watering a whole herd out of this deal, so I just don't think it makes sense for me to have that heated water, to have the electricity on all the time for that. So I just bucket water for these guys twice a day, let them drink, you know, morning and night, and they learn, and they do well by that. They learn to go ahead and drink in the morning before it freezes, and they drink at night because, you know, I think they're fairly thirsty, but they're not any worse for the wear on that deal. Okay, I got everybody watching. Everybody's here. So we got our Frostfree hydrant, and it's in the barnyard. All these guys are in the barnyard here, and you know, a lot of houses have Frostfree hydrants, or a lot of homesteads do. And the way a Frostfree hydrant works is this goes down in the ground, you know, it's probably 8 feet or whatever. And when you pull this handle, you can see it just pulls up right here, it just pulls up the mechanism that allows the water to flow. And then as soon as you push this back down, the curbside valve in the ground allows this pipe to drain. And so there's no water in here. It's not gonna freeze. And then, so whenever you come to get your bucket of water here to get your animals watered, so we just go ahead and pull this up. We're gonna pull that up, and then, what the criminy cricket? We don't have any water! What the world? This, Jetty, what do you gotta say? Okay, we don't have, apparently, oh golly. So, Frostfree hydrant apparently is not bulletproof. You hear me? Goodness. Now we got to figure out we got to figure out what's going on here. Man, went down to that Frostfree hydrant that never gives me any trouble, and to show a little bit on how we water when it's colder than all God's green earth. It's cold, goodness, and it's still cold. Man, it's cold. Here's the deal. I go down there. That thing never gave me any trouble, and it don't work. What we're gonna do? Well, I kind of got it figured out a little bit. I obviously had to inspect what we're doing. That's the first time that's ever happened to me. So I kind of went through the whole on how that water's fed to that hydrant, how that works. So what we're gonna do is head down to that hydrant and turn it on, and obviously nothing's gonna come out of it because it's got colder since, you know, I turned it on. Goodness, it's cold. Anyways, we're gonna turn that hydrant on, and nothing's gonna come out, and then I'm gonna show you where this where it's froze at. We're on our way to go ahead and get that hydrant on, but you know, the animals got to drink no matter what, right? So what I did was I got water, cooler water out of the bathtub, which you don't know what's on the bottom of your buckets until you try to fill them out of your bathtub. That is not ideal whatsoever. I mean, not even close. So that being said, we got to get this hydrant going. I know it's not froze at the hydrant because the handle, and then you might be able to see here, it moves freely. So it's moving the mechanism down below without a problem. So this hydrant has been working correctly. We should be able to tell when the water starts running. We should be able to feel it or hear it in the pipe there. I got to thinking about this windmill, and this windmill used to supply water for this whole homestead and all the cows and everybody. And I realized that even though unfortunately this well has gone bad and is completely caved in now, even so, there's a huge well pit, and we're gonna go down in that well pit, and we're gonna find that what the rural water, when they brought that into this farm place, it comes first into the house, and so that's the supply right into the house. But at the house, it tees off, and I can see that it tees off coming towards this windmill way. And where else is it gonna go? You know, they at one time they had a line going from the windmill to the house. So rural water just all they did was they put a 1/2-inch poly pipe from that where that used to feed from the windmill, and the house and our house is right over there. So it used to we're just talking from here to here. They just fed a line back to the windmill and to the well area, and then from there they went off to the barnyard into where that Frostfree hydrant is. So that's kind of where I started when I thought of, okay, where do I even start looking, and why would there be exposed pipe? Well, there's exposed pipe in that well. Right here is the door that goes into the little shop where the well is. So let's go down below and check that out. We gotta get down in this hole. Fortunately for me, I'm completely claustrophobic, so this is gonna be awesome. Fit in this hidey hole. All right, here it is. This is awesome down here, actually. It's completely cement walls all the way around, and you can see right in that area is where the well used to be and where it's caved in. And let me show you. Okay, that's where the old well was that I'm talking about, that the windmill pumped water out of. And so what they would do is the windmill would pump that well, and then it would come, there would be a line coming out of there, and unfortunately we had that checked and it's completely caved in. It's no good there. But what happened is then it went from there to this huge tank behind me, and it pumped up until that was full, and then that's how the guy that had this place had capacity. I mean, this tank is taller than I am. I can't wrap my arms around it. And down here, and anyways, he would use that, and that's how he had the that's how he was able to have a capacity to water all the cows. Okay, from there. And then over here we have that would be his pressure tank. Keep the system pressurized and have good flow. It's a Crane positive, dependable, lasting automatic water system. It is made in Chicago. All right, this thing is awesome. So you can see even down here, that's frost we're looking at up there, but it is considerably warmer. I mean, I got a lot of clothes on, I understand that, but it is considerably warmer down here. And so it's gonna, we've had super cold. It's cold. It's just downright cold out there. And this is the only exposed place that I know of on this farm that has exposed any kind of pipe. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take, I don't have very good lighting, but we're gonna take this has hot water in it, and it's got a little spout here that we can direct the water, and we're gonna just try pouring it right on the poly pipe and seeing if we can go ahead and get that to free up. Yeah, if I can make one suggestion, I just want to say that don't use fire, don't use a torch, just use hot water. You get that water nice and hot, it's gonna thaw it out. You're not gonna wreck stuff, and yeah, it's gonna make a little mess down here in the mud, or in the dirt. It's gonna make mud, but you know that's not really a big deal. And ultimately, you know, we're just gonna wreck less stuff just by pouring some hot water on there. We've only poured maybe a gallon or two of hot water on here, and I'm pretty sure I can feel movement in the pipe on that water. Let's go down and take a look at that Frostfree hydrant. See if we got any movement at all, and look at what we got. So we got running water here. Whoa. If you love your dog, that's great, but don't let your dog kiss your face when it's 30 below zero. There, teddy bear. Goodness. So, you know, I'm happy. Teddy's happy. The cows are gonna be happy. Anyways, yeah, we're happy that we have water now. You know, winter is a hard time on the homestead, and we got to make sure we're paying close attention to our critters. You know, they don't drink as much water. They don't eat as much. Well, they eat, I don't know, it seems like they eat twice as much food, drink half the water, but I don't know if that's true. Whatever. Anyways, here at 20 Acre Farms, we're paying really close attention to our animals. You know, we're making sure that they're having lots of water, and whoa! I hope this video helps you this winter when things aren't exactly ideal. You know, you're wondering, well, I don't have a water that keeps water all day long. Well, maybe, you know, maybe these guys don't need water all day long. Maybe they can drink twice a day and they can be perfectly fine. And so use what you got. Hey, Teddy, use what you got. And when you just have a couple of critters, it isn't ideal to have open water all day for two animals. You know, it's not worth it. So get them buckets of water, and they do fine on that. And they're not any worse of the wear, okay? So make the best out of what you got going this winter for water specifically. And I thought it was just going to be a great day out doing chores, and I was going to kind of bring you along on a cold winter day, and I had some, actually it turned out kind of major problem, but we got her fixed, and that's what homesteaders do. And so I hope things are going well on your homestead, and I hope you enjoy the video, you know. Yeah, so keep up, even when it's cold, freezing, keep going.